Hey guys, welcome back to Contemplations of a Christian Kid. This is kind of a random video, but this is just something that God kind of put on my heart as I was praying to Him a couple days ago. But the verse about a friend that sticks closer than a brother, that's really what inspired this conversation. And it comes from Proverbs 18:24. It says, "A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother." And the reason why I want to bring this up actually is because I remember a pastor who I heard speak at youth camp. I used to go to youth camp when I was in high school. And we had this awesome pastor named Joey Silva, who's in Chicago. And he preached the sermons, and he was talking about how God calls himself the I Am. That's what he introduced himself as. That's what the word Yahweh means. He was saying how he really likes that God calls himself I Am, because it basically means that you can fill in the blank, and God will be that for you. I've never forgotten that ever since Pastor Joey said that, because it's so true. And as I was just reflecting in my prayer time, I was realizing just how true that's been for me. And I feel like I tell people a lot when I'm praying for them, especially when they're going through really tough situations. I feel like I always am the first one to tell somebody, like, hey, this is just an opportunity for you to get closer to God. But I feel like sometimes I forget that in my own life, in moments where I'm feeling lonely. Yeah. I forget sometimes that even in those moments when you feel sad because maybe, I don't know, everybody else is busy, or you just feel like you're alone, or maybe you're doing something, like I said, that makes you feel empty, God is right there. And He is the friend that sticks closer than a brother. And He is the I Am. And He can be whatever you need Him to be in that moment. And you just need to fill in the blank. If you need Him to be the friend that sticks closer than a brother, He can be the friend that sticks closer than a brother. And I was actually going to talk about that just because as I've grown up and as I've gotten closer to my relationship with God, I've seen Him take on different roles. I've seen Him truly be fill in the blank person for me, in order to comfort me and give me peace. And so the first thing that God ever was to me, the first thing I really remember was I was like 15. I think it was my sophomore year of high school. And we were in, I guess you'd call it recess. Some people laugh at me when I call it recess, but I don't know what else to call it, because it was the time period after lunch when everybody went in the gym. So I call it recess, but I guess we were in high school, so maybe it's not cool to call it recess then. But yeah, we were in the gym after lunch, and I was with all my friends. And this particular day, for some reason, I was just feeling really, really lonely. I have like some girlfriends who really like to play volleyball. They play volleyball like every day at recess. And so I think I tried to go over and play with them, but I didn't really play volleyball. I wasn't very good at volleyball. I mean, I'm okay at it, but I'm not like super good enough to play with other people that are good at it. And I even remember like my best friend, like, she played volleyball and she knew all the girls on the volleyball team anyways. And I didn't play volleyball. Like, I only played basketball. And so I didn't really know them that well as she knew them. She was really the only person I knew who played volleyball. And so I tried to play with them. But I just kind of felt like, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't fit in. And all my guy friends, or at least most of my guy friends, were playing basketball. And they would play like full court basketball. And no girls ever really played with them. So I didn't even really think of joining them. But still, like, they were playing basketball with their friends. And then, like, I had a few friends that would, like, just sit on the bleachers and, like, talk. But I didn't really feel like I was super close to any of them either. Like, they were friends, but they were more like acquaintances. Like, they were people I knew and people that knew me, but not really people that I would, like, talk to. And so I just remember that day, feeling very, very lonely and like wondering if I really had any like friends. Um, because I just didn't have anybody to talk to. And I remember going home and I prayed. And finally, I was just so honest with him. And I was like, I just feel like I'm alone. Like, I feel like I don't have any friends. I just feel like I don't have any friends. Like, I feel like I don't have anyone to talk to. And, like, I just feel alone. And I remember God speaking to me as if he spoke audibly to me. He was like, I'm your friend. He's like, I'm your friend. So you don't need your other friends. I'm your friend. And obviously, I'm not saying like you shouldn't have other friends or anything. And that's not what God was saying either. But it was a real moment for me to be like, oh, wait. Like, you're my friend. Like, you're actually my friend. And you actually want to talk to me. And no matter what I'm going through or, you know, whether or not my human friends will talk to me, I always have God to talk to. And even recently, like this summer, I had a moment where I felt like I needed an accountability partner. And there was something that God had been asking me to do that I didn't do, which is just classic Miriam. Not doing what God tells her to do when God first tells her to do it. But I was talking to one of my other friends, and she like has accountability partners and she has mentors, and she was like, I think you might need a mentor. Like, I think you might need an accountability partner, which is completely valid. Like, I'm not, if God tells you to get an accountability partner, get a mentor, all of that. I think that's great. But I was just like really like kind of sad about it. So I was like, dang, like I do need somebody to watch over me, because obviously I'm not being obedient to God as soon as he says something to me. And so I was praying that night, and I was like, man, God, like, please, like, give me the names of somebody who can be my accountability partner. I don't know why that word's so hard for me to say. And the thing about having an accountability partner is, like, you need someone who is both, like, very close to you, but also someone who like, is spiritually deep in their relationship with God enough to like actually hold you in check. And I felt like I didn't really have any friends that were both to me. Like, I had friends that were like really close to me and knew me very well, who like would call me out, but I didn't necessarily have any friends that were like knew me very well and also were very deep in their relationship with God, who I like knew they're reading their word consistently, they're praying consistently, like they have a relationship with God where like they can accurately tell me things. And so I was just praying, and I was like, God, give me a name like of a mentor I might need. Give me a name of an accountability partner, like one of my friends who can be my accountability partner. Like, I just can't think of anybody. And in that moment, he once again told me, same as he had told me when I was 15, he was like, I'll be your accountability partner. And in that moment, I was like, how's that gonna work? Because, like, what? But he was like, here's how it goes. You do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it, and you won't need accountability. And in that moment, I kind of realized that, like, the only real reason, I mean, again, I'm not trying to, if you have an accountability partner, that's great. But I was like, man, I guess if I'm obedient to what God tells me to do the first time, I won't need an accountability partner anyways. Because the whole point of having an accountability partner is to have somebody that keeps you accountable. Like, they know that you struggle with X, Y, and Z. They know that you shouldn't be doing this thing. And they're going to ask you about it consistently, or they're going to pray with you about it consistently. And God was just in that moment, he was like, no, you don't need that. Like, you got me. And if you just get rid of what I tell you to get rid of, when I tell you to get rid of it, you won't need somebody else to tell you what I already told you, basically. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you'll be my accountability partner. And even more recently, as I've gotten older, you know, I don't want to be weird. I'm going to be weird here. I don't want to be weird. You know, I'm in college and I'm 20 something years old, about to be 21. And I am a deeply romantic at heart. I am. I love High School Musical. Actually, my top 3 movies. Here it goes. My top 3 movies that I love are The Parent Trap, La La Land, and, I guess Harry Potter, which isn't really romantic. But my top 2 movies are both, like, romantic movies at heart. And I'm just a sucker for romance. I'm a sucker for romance. I'm a sucker for beautiful love stories where 2 people, come together. I love High School Musical. Everybody who knows me knows I love High School Musical. I can't quote the movie, but I can quote every song. And so, I don't know, I kind of went through a moment, like, last year where I was just, like, kind of sad. So I was like, nobody's dating me, and nobody likes me. And I don't feel that way often. Like, I'm very much an independent girly, and I like my alone time. Like, that's the thing, is, like, I actually am one of the only people that I feel like genuinely enjoys being alone. But I have these moments where I'm just, like, sad. 'Cause I'm just like, And I've got some friends who are in some great relationships, and I'm so happy for them. But it's just like, man, sometimes I just feel alone. And I even had a moment last year where I was dealing with a lot of insecurities, which is kind of my fault, because I wasn't really where I should have been in my relationship with God. But I was just like, I just kind of want somebody to tell me I'm pretty. Like, I just kind of want somebody to tell me that I'm funny and that I'm smart and that I'm worth it. And even in my kooky moments where, like, I do very, like, not great things and, like, I'm kind of rude or just, I just want somebody who, like, gives me, like, reassurance. And I just really felt alone. And recently I've come to realize that in the same way that God told me that he would be my friend that sticks closer than a brother, in the same way that God told me that he would be my accountability partner, God has also been telling me that he'll be my boyfriend. And one of the songs that came to my mind when I was praying over the summer once is, like, it's this song, and it says, "You're still my first love, you're still my only one." It's called First Love. And I love the bridge of that song because it sounds like your average pop romance song, but it says, "I feel my heart beating out of my chest. I want to stay forever like this. Let the flame of my heart always be lit. I want to burn forever like this." And I love those lyrics because it truly does sound like a romance, like, lyric. It sounds like something you would hear in a modern movie when somebody's talking about their significant other. They would talk about how they never want this love to burn out, and they never want to get tired of being around this person, and they want to burn forever like this. They want their heart to beat out of their chest. They want their palms to get sweaty when they talk to this person. They want all the butterflies to still be there, even 10 years down the line, even 20 years down the line. I want to burn forever like this. And yet this song wasn't about a boy. Friend, it was written about Jesus. And there have been moments where, like, I'll be talking to God in prayer, and I'll just sit there and I'll just think, like, I don't ever want to be anywhere else. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody else. I don't want to see anybody else. I kind of just want to talk to you right now. I kind of just want to meet with you. I kind of just want to feel your presence all around me. I kind of just want to love you and fall in love with you. And those are things you say to a boyfriend. Like, those are things you say to a guy that you really like. And yet here I was saying this to God. And I guess, I don't know. I guess that's just my encouragement. And I think it's something we so often miss about the character of God. I think it's so easy for us to treat God like a vending machine where we do things that we think are going to please him so that he'll do things to bless us. But the more and more that I've gotten deeper in my relationship with God, and the more that I talk to him, and the more that I really build my relationship with him, and the more and more I realize that the reason why I do things for Jesus now, it's not because I want something out of it. It's just because I want him. It's just because he genuinely is my closest friend. There is nobody on this earth who I've been so vulnerable to the way that I've been vulnerable to God. There's nobody who knows all of my worst moments the way God knows my worst moments. There's nobody who knows all of my saddest moments the way that he knows my saddest moments. And like I said, like, I still have to remember that sometimes when my friends are busy, like now at college. My friends are all like in organizations, or like they're RAs, and like they're busy, and like that's fine. Like, they have their own lives to live, and they shouldn't, they're busy. And there are times when even now when I'm like, man, like, I'm kind of alone. Like, nobody really has time to hang out, or nobody really has time to go do something. But it's like, when I pray with God, he always has time for me. There's never a moment when he doesn't want to meet with us. There's never a moment when he's tired of us or he's fed up with us. And the truth can't be said about people, like, because people get busy, and people have schedules, and people also get annoyed very quickly. But God isn't like that. He is the perfect friend. He is the perfect confidant. He is truly the friend that sticks closer than a brother. And he's never tired about hearing about you. You've never talked his ear off. You've never bored him. He's got all the time in the world to speak to you. And he is a comforter. It says that he's near to the brokenhearted and those who are crushed in spirit. And I feel like sometimes we sell our relationship with God so short when we just think of him as this, omnipotent being who's going to give us things that we really like. If you are in a time right now in your life where any of the things that I said maybe apply to you, where maybe you feel like you're without friends, or, maybe some of you might be in a situation where you're very godly and like you love Jesus, and your friends don't really love Jesus that much. And so when you're doing godly stuff, or when you say that you can't go to this place or that place, automatically they don't want to go with you, or you feel alone right now. He is the friend that sticks closer than a brother. And if you're in a situation where you don't feel like there's anybody you can talk to, and maybe you feel like you've messed up too much, or you feel like you've made too many mistakes, he is our strong tower. He's our confidant. We can tell him anything. He is the perfect friend. He's the perfect boyfriend. He's the perfect everything. He is the I am. And whatever you need in this moment of your life, and whatever you need in this phase of your life, he can be that for you. But yeah. That's all I have to say. I hope everybody has a great day. And God bless you guys. I'll see you.